Spider-Gwen, Spider-Gwen, does whatever Spider-Gwen does. Welcome to another Geek It Yourself video! It's like a do-it-yourself project, but geekier. The fact that Spider-Gwen is badass is not the only reason why I'm wearing this apparel, but also because today's Geek-IY project is making one of these amazing Spider-Gwen lanterns. It's a lantern! A Spidey lantern! That's right, today I'm going to show you how you can take a simple mason jar and create it into a lantern, a piggy bank, really whatever you want with it, but it's gonna be Spider-Gwen and it's gonna be great. Look at this adorable jar. Don't you want this in your life? You could make this. So without further ado, let's geek it. Here's what you'll need for this project. White, black, and magenta enamel paint, as well as a Sharpie Paint Pen, bright blue puff paint, a mason jar of your choice as long as it doesn't have anything on it, some painter's tape, and optionally some battery-operated lights. Firstly, we are going to take our mason jar and painter's tape and we're going to start sectioning off our design. What we're going to be doing first is painting the white section. So what I want to do is mark off where the white and the black are going to be, which are modeled off of the front and back of Spider-Gwen's costume. So you want it to look something like this with a V in the front, have it go down in the back, and go up a little bit on the sides. Once you have your design the way you want it, you're going to take that white enamel paint and you're going to start painting above those lines, so towards the top of the jar, because that's where the white goes on her costume. And just make sure that you're doing these in large strokes, because if you are going to put lights in there, it will show where you've painted. This paint isn't that forgiving. Once you're done, it's time to let that dry. Once everything is dry, you're going to take your Sharpie Paint Pen and you're going to begin outlining your black design, which I ended up following a lot of the tape lines that I did in order to ensure straight lines, but I also made some changes as I went along. You'll notice that the sides of my jar, the points are a lot sharper and higher, so you can really make this what you want it to be. You can really take this moment to define everything really well, and once you're done, it should look something like this, and you're going to want to make sure that's all dry, and then begin peeling off your tape. Oh, doesn't that feel great? Once all that's ripped off, you're going to take a pencil and you're going to start outlining the magenta parts, which basically are two triangles that kind of point inwards towards the front, and then you can have them go really cover as much as you want of the back of the jar. I liked to have a lot of it covering the back of the jar so that I could show the pink more and also have more of the kind of spider web design. So that's kind of how mine ended up looking, but it's totally up to you. Now it's time to take your black enamel paint and it's time to just start painting the bottom of that jar. This is a paint that you're definitely going to want to layer a couple times. Let it dry, relayer it, let it dry, relayer it, because it definitely is a little bit more translucent than the white is and you want it to be dark. Once it's done, it should look something like that. Now this is an extra step I had to take. I had to make my magenta color, which I did using a bright pink and a purple that I already had, and then just mixing them together like elementary school art class, which was the only art class that I was good at. Now it's time to take that magenta color and start filling in those pencil marks. I liked to outline and then fill in so that it was a little bit more defined. And again, this is where you can make any changes as you're going. Do what you feel, but make sure that once you are done with this, it is fully dry before moving on to the next step, because you're really gonna have to get up close and personal with this mason jar and you don't want anything to smudge. Now it's time to grab that puff paint. Now puff paint is often used for fabric. It's really intended for fabric, but you can use it on the mason jars. It'll work just as well. This is something you're gonna wanna take your time with. It's gonna be your spider web design, and I created mine, as you'll see, by just making a bunch of straight lines and then going across them with curved lines to make the spider webs, and space them out the way you're feeling. Just take your time with it because you want to have a somewhat steady hand with this, though puff paint is definitely more forgiving than the enamel paint. And then once you're all done, it should look something like this, and you're going to want to let it dry for forever. I ended up letting mine dry overnight. Once everything's all dry, it's time to turn this bad boy into a lantern. You're gonna wanna grab your twinkling lights, and the first thing you wanna make sure is that your battery pack fits in that mason jar. Sometimes it won't, they're big. Then you're just gonna stick those lights all in there, trying to get the lights more towards the white part, which is gonna be more translucent for sure. And it's going to end up looking something like this. And there is a second option if you're not feeling the lantern. You can pop that lid back on Patreon, and you can turn this into a bank for your Spider-Gwen cosplay fund, because God knows that that's what I'm gonna be doing. No matter which way you spin it, you end up with one of these. Look at it! Look how good it looks! I think that this is super cute and super fun, and like I said, this is going to be my little cosplay fund jar, because my next big cosplay is gonna be Spider-Gwen, which is gonna be super exciting! Yay, bodysuits! Putting my hood back on because I feel real badass that way. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, and if you want to help me make these videos possible, please consider going over to patreon.com/shutupkristen, which is a tipping and reward site. My hood is falling. It is a site where you can donate money to my making these videos, and in exchange you get cool rewards. And I want to thank all of these lovely people listed right here who are my current patrons, because they really made these Geek-IYs this month possible, and we just hit our first milestone goal over on that page, which means that until we hit our next goal, I'm making at least 2 Geek-IY videos a month, which is really exciting. So thank you so much to everyone who has donated, and if you are interested, please, please, please consider it. I love you biddies, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Spider-Gwen out!